Laurent Esso is begging for retirement. That is the Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seals in Cameroon. He is begging for retirement. But President Paul Biya is not willing to do any cabinet reshuffle this time around. I don't know why, because this is not the first time people have been. This is one of the longest government under the leadership of President Paul Biya that have gone for a very long period without any reshufflement. So what is actually happening with the government of President Paul Biya, or amongst all the 30 million Cameroonians, there is nobody capable to take over any ministerial position in Cameroon. So we are going to talk about it today on TFA Talking Point. And if it's your first time joining TFA Talking Point, please subscribe to our channel and also follow us on all our social media platforms. According to an article by the Pan-African news magazine, Jeune Afrique, one of President Paul Biya's longest-serving ministers, and a confident Laurent Esso, Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seal, who doubled as Vice Chair of the Higher Judiciary Council. You know that the chairperson of the Higher Judiciary Council is President Paul Biya, has opted to retire after some 14 years of serving in the crucial ministry. 14 years in serving in that particular ministry of justice. And he has been in government from one ministry to another, transfer from one ministry to another. So this is actually what is happening in Cameroon. Just particular group of people, as I mentioned in many of my videos, that only 5% Cameroonians are governing the entire country. 95% are just classified as second-class citizens. Only 5% are benefiting from. So amongst all the 30 million Cameroonians, there are ministers who have been in power or in office for more than 30 to 40 years. Only the same with President Paul Biya. There are ministers who are still minister today, but they were minister under Amadou Ahidjo, but they are still minister today. Bello Buba Magari is one of them. He was the first prime minister under President Paul Biya when he took over office. So these are the things happening in Cameroon, but nobody is talking about. Only Cameroonians who are without any power are talking about. And whatsoever they say remains within them, around them. It does not go any far. So with the help of social media, we can cry out for the government to look. This is somebody who is tired. He is not doing anything, but the government decided that he will remain in power. And he himself is now begging for retirement. Why? Because he is seriously sick and he is in Europe receiving treatment. The publication continues. He says his health is said to have deteriorated after reports that he fell ill during the National Day celebration at the presidency on May 20th last year. So this is what is actually happening. So because we have not been seeing him, so many people thought that maybe it's just the kind of issue where maybe something have not brought him up to the social media or to television or to the public view. We did not know that something happened, that he disappeared. And that is how many of them that you have not seen, they have disappeared. They are in the hospital receiving treatment at the detriment of the common people with the taxpayer money. The offices remain vacant, work not done, but money paid. But this one sincerely came out that he wished to go on retirement. He wants to go on retirement. But President Paul Biya is still keeping him. Why? We have not been seeing him. Even when they were offering President Paul Biya New Year wishes this year, we did not see him. So many people were asking questions, but nobody answered the question. But suddenly, we are getting an answer to it. Meaning Jean Momona is the one running the Ministry of Justice. And this is somebody that is having mental issue in Cameroon. So how can judicial system in Cameroon be okay? These are all the trouble we are having. And that is why there is high rate of insecurity in Cameroon, because there is no justice. If there is no minister for justice, then there will be no justice in Cameroon. Insecurity is everywhere. And people are going into their early graves. People are running for their dear lives. People are losing property in the hands of criminals because there is no justice in the land. President Paul Biya should. I say that there is nothing left for them to offer to Cameroonians. So the only thing left for them, and the only thing they need to do is to surrender. All of them should resign, meaning from President Pobia to the least person he appointed should resign and go on retirement. Because first, they are elderly, or if you look at their average age, it's around 80 years. I'm talking about average age. It's around 80 years. And they are governing more than 30 million people, embezzling taxpayer money. Most of them mismanagement is not because they willingly wish to, but because they do not have the capacity, they do not have the knowledge, they do not understand the generation now. The 21st century is quite different from the time President Pobia was active. So it is very difficult to understand the operation and manage things. So they will find themselves in mismanagement. They will find themselves in taking decisions. If you have ever sit beside an old person, you always hear this thing, in our time, they hold on to, because that is when they were active. When you are above 80, you are reducing and your mentality is gradually returning to a point where you will be like a child, a 1-year-old child. And this is exactly how President Pobia and many ministers in Cameroon are. They have the mentality, the same with children below 5 years. They cannot reason that way. So just take, for example, that a child of 5 years is the one ruling Cameroon. Would you trust that person? There are some certain decisions that the person would not. If you found a child running around playing, you will not ask any question, because that is the mentality at that time. And this is exactly what many offices and institutions in Cameroon are going through. They are under the leadership of those who are incapable. And the only thing is for them to go home and sit and rest. This one is already sick and then calling for retirement. But President Pobia does not want to do it. Why?